Welcome to San Angelo, Texas. Hi guys, Christian here. In today's video, we're going to take a deep dive into our latest 22-unit apartment investment and the opportunity that it will present. This discussion is going to feature three speakers. The first is Vince Renda. He's an attorney at law in San Diego with over 20 years experience in real estate and investments. Vince is the lead on this real estate syndication. Next is Saeed Sadri, who has spent over 30 years in the pharmaceutical field and now is getting into the opportunity of real estate investing. And finally, Ron Samuel, a certified public accountant for over 30 years. Ron owns his own accounting firm in San Diego and also is an avid real estate investor. Ron analyzes the rent rolls and all of the details, including cost acquisition. At the end of the video, I'm sure you'll be interested to see how shocked Ron is at the returns. The first question you may have, which is exactly what I had when we first got into this investment, is where is San Angelo, Texas? Well, it's basically smack dab in the center of the state, about a 3-hour drive from Austin and San Antonio. It's a city of over 120,000 people and home to Angelo State University, Fort Concho, and Goodfellow Air Force Base. There are some great videos on the city of San Angelo and its people, including the thriving economy and surprising rankings by Forbes magazine on future job growth over the next decade. But enough of this overview, let's dive right into the investment analysis. But before we do, please make sure to turn that like button blue. It does wonders for the YouTube algorithm, and I really appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe and press that bell notification so that you can be notified of future real estate investment deals. Make sure you stick around till the end of the video, where Ron details the investment analysis and you learn how to invest in this and similar apartment investments. I just pulled up the presentation. I know that Saeed wanted to kind of go through the new investment property that you've got, Vince. I thought that maybe you could give an overview of, how you came across it, what the numbers look like. And I know Ron's doing, most of the analysis as well on the CPA side of things. So he can take a look at it and give his point of view too. I know Ron's been involved in a lot of different real estate investments as a CPA as well. He's got a vast knowledge of everything. And so I think he's a great advisor for Saeed on this one, and probably be a really good resource too, as to his thoughts on, how it looks for other investments as well. So I thought, Vince, maybe you could just, share a little bit about the
So
property itself.
I wasn't aware. I didn't even look at the attachment. This is not the Houston apartment building, but this is another deal.
Yeah, this is a new one.
Correct.
Ron.
So Houston, we closed, and I'm happy to chat about that deal. So whatever you guys want to direct me to, I'm happy to chat.
If you would, if I can cut in. So Huntsville was pretty much done. So we are just, I was just waiting for the DocuSign draft and just to have Ron to have a final review for my signature, and then wiring of the funds on that, which was 100K. Then this is the new deal, if you would please, because Ron, we already discussed that last time with Ron. And
okay, good. I thought we had pretty much vetted everything.
Yes, exactly. You were ready. Exactly. So Ron had vetted that deal. So there are just some final details. Hopefully I can take care of that today. It would be all done on my part also. Now, Ron, this is the second deal. It's a smaller deal that Vince and Christian had talked to me about it. And this is a smaller deal in the Depot Flats in San Angelo, Texas. And that one, if you would please, we can talk about that and the figures. And you had this slide up, I saw, Christian. So just that one, my portion would be smaller, because it's much smaller project. It's going to be 50K. So that's the total deal.
Okay, got it. Christian, you're on. And also, guys, in the interest of time, we're in the middle of tax season. I know you guys know we're buried, but I'm happy to spend the time, but my time is somewhat limited.
Of course.
Definitely on the CPA side of things. So Vince, I think maybe if you could just run through the opportunity a little bit and just kind of fill them in. Hopefully we won't take much longer than 10, 15 minutes total.
Sure. I'll be very direct and very brief with it. So the concept The overall structure, everything is identical to Huntsville. The deal is just different in that it's a new town and a new property. The purchase price is 1.5 million. It's 22 units. As you can see in that first picture that Christian showed, they're unusual. They look almost industrial. And what they are is stained concrete floors all the way throughout, and they include a finished garage. Each unit has a one-car finished garage that has electric motor, and it can be used as total flex space because it has crown molding, baseboards, and heating and air. A lot of people use it as a home office. Some people put a futon or a sleeper sofa and make it a guest room. Other people have made it a gym or just a toy garage. So it's interesting, for that reason. So the rental rates have been very good. The owner of it owns a commercial construction company, and he built it in 2013, and he's owner managed it since. He's even sometimes had a big commercial construction project come into town, like in 2017 and 2019, and then he took some of the units, furnished them himself. 5 of the units are fully furnished, and he rented them out to his employees. So it has a lot of revenue. It has about $22,000 a month in gross revenue. And the expenses we can go through, but I have it calculated very comfortably at a little over a 9 cap. And the intent of the LLC would be to pay out in 8 profits to the owners every single month, like we're doing on Huntsville. And I think it'll be very easy to do. Only raising $400,000, and probably have half of that committed, including Saeed's $50,000. I think Christian's going to invest $25,000. I'm also going to invest $25,000, which is meaningful to me too, on the investment side. But San Angelo has about 110,000 people. There's a regional airport there with flights every day on American Airlines from Dallas. It's a couple hours from San Antonio, Austin, and Midland, Odessa. But I think that they will be very easy to keep occupied, and I think they're unique. But I think the cap rate is strong, and I'm very bullish on the deal. I think it's a good deal. It's a small deal, but I think it's a worthwhile deal for all of us to do. So let me know what questions you have that I can further direct.
So the deal is very similar to Huntsville in that you're an 80-20 split on the managing member to the other members.
Yes, the waterfall is identical. So 80-20 upon sale of the property, but the operating agreement will be identical to Huntsville.
Okay, so that is a little unusual to have the garage basically functional as another unit. That's interesting.
Yes, I've never seen it, and I kind of like it, and I'm looking into it more. But
yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I'm hearing so far, actually sounds pretty good. What's the long-term play on this, Vince?
Pretty similar to Huntsville or the other deals. In other words, the intent is to really keep everyone in for 5 years. The loan is fixed for 5 years, and we really want to try to build an equity cushion by raising rents each year, and also by paying down principal and interest. These local banks that I use in Texas and Arkansas, they're very easy to work with, and they're very favorable terms. But they really want fully amortizing mortgages. They don't really want IO. So, it's good and it's bad. I mean, we're moving money from one pocket to the other, but at the same time, again, we're creating an equity cushion. So in 5 years, I'd like to see where interest rates are and where the market is. And we'll do a cash out refinance, try to get all the capital back, the initial $400K say on this deal. And that will help us, have a free roll on the distributions and on eventual profit on the deal. I know you're the accountant, so my understanding is we would be.
I'm good. I'm good for
the
the
numbers. Yeah, you can see by the numbers, Ron. It's actually a little bit better profit-wise than the Huntsville deal. It's got a higher cap rate.
So time horizon. What's that? Did I freeze up?
We lost about the last 60 seconds, Vince.
You're back now.
Can you guys hear me now? No. Okay, good. I'm sorry. So all I was saying was, 5-year hold, either cash out, refi, get capital back and stay in for a free roll and just take distributions, or, sell it in 5 years if there's a profit there. I think those are the two options that we're looking at. I've said to other investors on other deals, everyone's investing pretty small amounts of money in the grand scheme of things. And it's a performing asset and performing investment. And if there's a big life event or something changes and you think you need to get out, give me some time. Can't guarantee anything, but give me some time and I'll probably replace the investment for the person and get them out if they can give me 90 days or so, because again, it's a performing asset and it's usually not too hard to find somebody.
Gotcha. Well, that's not the approach. Saeed is a pretty conservative guy, and if he decides to pull the trigger on Depot Flats, it would be for the long haul.
Agreed.
What do you think? Just a ballpark guess, Vince. 5 years. What do you think properties could be worth?
Well, I think this property, I think, can command rent increases because of the interest list that it has, and because it's fully occupied. I'd like to be, friendly about rent increases, but pretty aggressive too. The other nice thing about Texas, and again, I guess I'm answering it in a long-winded way, but the other nice thing about Texas is that it's landlord friendly. In other words, if we can, there's not really rent restrictions. You don't really have, rental caps, and if people aren't paying, eviction laws are a lot more friendly. So I think it could, and if people continue to move to Texas, I think the investment will grow. I mean, I hate to just purely guess or purely speculate as to what the asset value will be in 5 years. But I think it's as good of any as a brick and mortar kind of, multifamily investment, because I think we can raise rents, and I think that's where the value is going to come on a sale is raising rents.
Got it. Well, I don't know where in California do we see a $68,000 a door cost, do we?
No, and especially on newer construction.
Yeah. No way. Well, I've heard what I need to hear. Saeed, is there anything else you need to hear from Vince or Christian?
No, everything was explained. The only thing is that just kind of a question on back of my mind. Is there any reason that your participation rate is lower than the Huntsville property? You are going each for 25 versus
my personal participation.
Yes.
So Huntsville, I overfunded, and I think we're going to overfund this deal too. So again, I kind of leave myself as the wild card. Again, I want to come into every deal and show investors that I'm bringing a family member into the deal, and I'm putting money into the deal too as an investor. I'm not just the syndicator and the guy putting it together and personally guaranteeing the loan, right, which is a big deal. But in actuality, 25,000, like I said, is meaningful to me.
Comparing this versus Huntsville, how would you rate the, how did you rate the risk assessment?
Well, it's a good question. Huntsville is, within commuting distance of Houston, and Houston is the 4th largest city in America. So obviously, it's a big deal. I've never looked at multifamily in a place where purely it's oil and gas related, because it's just up and down. Like you can see multifamily in North Dakota or something, and the rents are really high for a couple of years, and then it's just the place is desolate. This is not really that. I mean, this city is 110,000 people, and that Air Force base is not going anywhere. And the economy there is not just oil and gas. I don't think it's any more risky than Huntsville. I think that being that they're both newer construction, I think that they'll always be a good comp for apartment comp, because people want newer construction with technology. There's always going to be a need for this kind of thing.
Absolutely. Thanks for that. Just one last question I have. Ron questioned about the the property value maybe like 5 years down the road. Nobody knows that. I mean, that's a fair assumption. The trends are Texas are going to is going to be much better than other states. But you mentioned something about your strategy is relying on gradually increasing the rents. So I remember last time we spoke, you said there are 22 units, 12 of them are 2-bedroom, if I'm not mistaken. 20 of them are 1-bedroom. Is that correct? So
19 and 3.
I'm sorry, 99.3. So the average rent. So what's the average rent for the, like, let's say the one bedroom and garage, and what kind of projection do you see? What kind of increase in rent values per year? And if it doesn't work out, then there's always the option of, I guess, going back to the or decrease the increase of rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, during the due diligence process, I get a copy of all the leases and I get an estoppel from every 2 bedrooms. The person's lived there since 2013 when it was brand new, and their rent's way too low. Like the delta between the 2 bedroom and the 1 bedroom is too low. The 2 bedrooms need to go up the most, but there's not very many of those. Most of them are 1 bedrooms, but the 5 of them are furnished. So those rent for a little bit more, but the rents are pretty skewed. Like there's somebody in there for, in a 1 bedroom for $850, and then there's someone in there for $1150. It's pretty big delta. But plan is to increase everyone at turnover. And if we don't have a big risk upon replacing that tenant, then again, we don't want to make anyone mad, but the economy is still doing great. Stock market's really high. Jobs are good. People are moving to Texas. If they can pay another $75 a month on their rent and continue to increase it, give better service and be responsive. But that's going to increase a lot, because when you raise 22 units, $100, staying the same. And then you could figure it out at a 9 cap. If you raised rents 25 grand a year for the next 5 years, if our NOI is like much higher, I hate to project those things and be wrong, because it's like, it is somewhat of a guesstimate. But why I think these deals are safe is because I do a spreadsheet in my computer and just say, if I had to reduce rents because World War III happened, or something worse than COVID happened, or who knows what happens, we had to reduce rents. We can pay our mortgage, our property tax, and all the utilities and the property management fees and still break even. And we can hold out. We're not going to ever sell. We have a 20% down payment on the thing, and we're going to gain equity every month. We're never going to sell at a bad time. We're going to always just wait it out if we have to. You know what I mean? Because we're all solvent enough that we can do that. And that's a nice way to handle risk.
That makes sense. That's all. The San Angelo's deal. If Ron doesn't have any other questions, same thing. If you can do that,
we can chat after, Saeed. No, but I'm
okay.
This is very interesting. I mean, I'm in escrow on a couple of buildings myself, Vince. If I wasn't already, I'm slightly overcommitted. I jump in, but I was like, nah. This is the 4th deal I've done in the last year, and I'm stacked myself.
Wow, congrats. Well, we'll continue to keep in touch regardless, Ron. And you're a good help to Saeed. The documents that I sent yesterday, Saeed, I want to make sure you got those. So it's the operating agreement that all the investors signed when we closed Huntsville about 10 days ago. And there's a first amendment to the operating agreement. I want to make sure that you're okay with those documents before I send it out to everyone via DocuSign, because it's going to be like a hassle if we send it out and then you want to make changes. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, absolutely. I think I received it. I just forwarded this morning to Ron. If you get a chance, please.
I'll read them. The First Amendment is very straightforward. I just want to read it again.
Okay.
And then Saeed can communicate directly with you.
If you're interested in this investment details or any of previous deals that we've done, you can go to apartmentsinvestor.com and get a complete analysis of this investment, how to invest, and what our future deals may look like as well. Leave a comment down below if you've got any questions. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, subscribe for future videos that may benefit you.